Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR Indy car? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys have been learned to ride, Ami Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Ami Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and man, oh man, what a weekend we had. I was up in the forests of Maine and New Hampshire, and we had what was the biggest stage rally event of the year in, I don't want to say North America, we'll say United States, and we'll even throw Canada in the mix there. No offense to our friends up in the Canadian Rally Series, but man, talk about an absolute star-studded event up there, and we are going to dive into that a whole lot this weekend, or a whole lot today on what happened this weekend. We've got some podium interviews that I did with Travis Pastrana, Ken Block, David Higgins. We're also going to throw some in from our friend Brendan Reeves, Lachlan O'Sullivan, all the winners from this weekend New England Forest Rally. We've got all those interviews plus Block and Pastrana. So anytime you get guests like that on air, it's quite fun, and I had a good time up there with those guys, and lucky enough to be able to catch up with them and interview them with Rally America Radio all weekend. And then we've got a very special guest calling in this first hour, Ramana Lagemann. If you're a rally fan, you know the name. If you're not a rally fan, you may have heard the name. Ramana used to be a factory Subaru driver for ProDrive over a little over 10 years ago. Still a young guy. I mean, absolutely a young gun at that point in time in rally. He's been involved in rally all this time. And M Sport, that M Sport from the UK that fields World Rally cars and builds a lot of GRC and WRX cars. They decided they wanted to come to the U.S. and run one of their R5s. So Ramana got pegged for that seat this weekend at the New England Forest Rally. And we're going to catch up with him and get the lowdown on what it was like to drive that R5. And should be awesome. Then kicking off hour number 2, Jenn Hellstrom. She's going to be calling in. She was at Glen Helen this weekend. She was shooting photos and taking notes and saw all the action go down in what turned into a doubleheader because of the rain. And so we're going to catch up with Jen, get all the results from Lucas and Glen Helen. That series kind of hitting its stretch and hitting its stride right now, and going to be great to catch up with her and find out what happened out there in Glen Helen. And then to cap off the show, like always, Ami Houde. She's going to be calling in, and we're going to talk some pro motocross. She was actually at Millville at the Nationals in Minnesota, so we're definitely going to catch up with Ami Houde and find out how it was like there at the outdoors in Minnesota, and get those results and talk a little bit of motocross. So definitely a great show packed with some awesome guests. We're going to cover everything from coast to coast, from off-road to rally, and everything in between, with a stop in the Midwest and to talk some motocross from Minnesota. So absolutely a very fun show we got in store today, and man, I don't know what much more to say. Not only that, but as all this is going on, we've got all this motorsports going on. They've got surfing going on at J-Bay in South Africa, and I know we don't talk surfing on the show and whatever, but I do have to mention this. So I don't know if you guys have seen the clip or not yet, but you need to pull it up. Mick Fanning, one of the best surfers in the world. He was having his heat with Julian Wilson down there at J-Bay, South Africa, and South Africa J-Bay is known for sharks. I mean, it's the one event on the calendar that it's just known for sharks. And Mick, he's out there in his heat, and all of a sudden the shark comes up and attacks him. Smart enough to put the surfboard between him and the shark, and Mick actually comes out okay. And they ended up plucking him and Julian out of the water, putting them in the safety boats, and both of them coming out unscathed. But just the video, I mean, it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. Looks like something out of Jaws. It was just to watch the video, absolutely terrifying. I mean, I'm sitting there going, "Oh my gosh!" And I follow the WSL World Surf League on on all my social media, just to keep tabs on what's going on. And, so immediately as soon as that happened, it popped up in my feed. And those of you who are watching live online, I mean, you guys probably saw it, but it was absolutely just terrifying. And I got to give Mick Fanning props. A lot of people, they say, oh, you don't panic, you don't do this, you don't do that. And, most people, they run into a bear, see a shark, anything like that, mountain lion, whatever it is, you know what I mean, snake. It's immediately, you can say what you want, but immediately you panic. Everything hits the fan, you're screaming, you're running, and you do everything you're not supposed to do, and generally that's when things even get worse, right? Mick Fanning, the dude kept his cool, kept his calm, and I think that literally is why he didn't get eaten alive out there. It's definitely a crazy situation. You should definitely pull up the video, and props to Mick for staying alive, literally. Anybody that's going to argue now that surfing isn't the most dangerous sport in the world, I would like to hear your argument. I think about the only thing that would rival that at this point in time was Felix when he jumped out of outer space, and decided to skydive out of outer space. I don't know. I mean, it's just pure craziness to me. But I guess the good news for the WSL is it seems like anything like this happens and immediately ratings spike. So at the next round, all these people that were casual surf fans, they're going to be tuned in like, oh man, we got to watch this. It sounds that way. Anything IndyCar, there's a bad crash. The next, and it makes SportsCenter and it's all over, and then immediately everybody's tuned in. Oh, I got to watch that. We got to see what's going to happen. So I'm sure that'll happen with World Surf League. But man, it was definitely pretty crazy down there in J-Bay. So enough with the surf talk. I know that's not what this show is dedicated to or anything, but I got to tell you, I just had to talk about it. You need to watch the video. Watch the video. Hit me up on Twitter at JimBeaver15. Let me know what you think. Love to hear your thoughts on that and anything for the weekend. We got lots of time today, so if you got any questions, at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, hit me up. Tag me. You can tag Ami Houde at AmiHoude71. And, we'll definitely get those questions answered. Obviously, some of these interviews with Block and Pastrana, they're recorded from this weekend, so we can't ask them questions. But Ramana, you got any questions for Ramana? Definitely shoot me over those tweets. Jenn Hellstrom, any Lucas questions? You can pop those over. And then, obviously, at AmiHoude71. But, should be a fun show, and love to have those fan questions. But right now, we're going to kind of roll into a little bit of rally coverage to start things off. And I got to say, this will be your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And I have to say, I will be up at Dirtfish, not this next Monday, 2 weeks from today, and I'm going to be up there for training for 3 days, but we are going to be airing a live Down and Dirty show on a Monday from Dirtfish Rally School. So should be an amazing time. We're going to be airing live there, and going to rally school. I got a couple of friends of mine, a couple of guests that are going to rally school with me, and I guess we could let the cat out of the bag now. I know Dirtfish is kind of, they've kind of led you in, and so have I. But my good friend Levi LaValle, he's going to be joining me at Dirtfish, and he's going to first time in a rally car, I think. So it should be cool to get Levi up there. See how you can shred one of those rally cars at Dirtfish. And then a lot of you know him from Snowcross, and then maybe maybe Terracross as well, but the young gun Cole Katu, he's going to be up there as well. So obviously we'll both have both of those guys on air with me from Dirtfish, and probably a lot of local talent. Obviously James Rimmer, he runs a rally car for Dirtfish. GRC Lights driver Tanner Witten, they'll probably pop on air, and who knows who else will pop on air up there at Dirtfish. You never know who's around that place or who's popping in for the day. But I've got some training to do up there for a good half a week. And, we're going to be taking the show on the road, airing live 2 weeks from today from Dirtfish Rally School. So should be a good time. Looking forward to it. It's been almost a year since I've been up at Dirtfish. So, it should be fun to get caught up with my friends up there. And got some cool projects we're working on. So you're definitely gonna hear a lot more about Dirtfish, as you have the past year and a half, but in the future. But getting to some Rally America talk, and I know this was dubbed the Battle of the Titans. I called it the biggest rally event to hit North America in countless years. WRC, excluded. I know WRC Mexico. I mean, that's we're not even going to touch that. But United States and Canada, I'm talking. But the entry list for this, David Higgins, he's had an amazing year. He's just on point, dialed in. And Adam Yeoman, who, runs Open Class, he has definitely stepped his game up this year. And even Higgins said, man, this kid is pushing me. And for an independent, that's definitely a tip of the cap, So those are kind of your regulars out there, Open Class, the front runners. I mean, lots of great talent in the in the Open Class. But I mean, you look at Rally America, and generally those are the two that stand out. And then obviously Roberts, Lachlan, in super production, and then two-wheel drive. I mean, just a great contingent of drivers in two-wheel drive. But Block decides to show up to New England. Travis Pastrana decides to show up to New England. And then to make things even more exciting, M Sport from Europe, first time ever, they bring over 2 cars to the United States and campaign them. One in Open Class with Ramana, who's going to be our guest in a few minutes. And then 2, Brendan Reeves from Australia, the 2013 two-wheel drive champ. So, really shaking things up, bringing over some world-class drivers and some world-class cars. And, David Sterks is back. David always pushes to the front in Open Class. I mean, Will Hudson, he's done some WRC stuff. He's coming over running two-wheel drive. It's just, we can't even... Gustavo Jacquemin, a lot of you know him from World Endurance Championship over there in Europe. He's done 24 Hours of Daytona. He's done Le Mans. This guy's got a road racing pedigree second to none. Red Bull athlete. He decided to come over and run a two-wheel drive B-Spec. So, absolutely, you couldn't ask for much more from an entry list for a National Rally America event. I mean, absolute huge event. The crowds, I can't even explain how many people were there. It was they had VIP buses. Red Bull got involved, and it was Sunday River Resort. It was madness. I mean, they were like $180, $200 a seat for these VIP buses. They sold out 3 buses in a matter of hours. Stages were packed with fans. Park Exposé packed with fans. I mean, drivers going through posters and handouts like it was, like they were drinking water. It was just, it was absolutely crazy. And I really think this is what really rally in the United States and Canada need. We need a big standout event, something to call our Super Bowl, our Mint 400, our Indy 500. We need an event like that, and I think New England Forest Rally, it's always kind of been that event, but after this year, it definitely put its stamp on it and said, hey, we are the big show. This is the one event a year you can count on that is going to bring the big names, the big guns. And, if you're a rally fan, this is the one you want to be at. And, and the stage roads are awesome. The venue is awesome there at Sunday River. They truly stamped it this weekend and said, hey, this is the big one. This is the one you want to win. And, Ryan Turk was there checking it out. Bucky Lassick was there checking it out. I mean, it was tremendous, absolutely tremendous. So ultimately, David Higgins, him and Block, it was set the tone from right at the beginning. Everybody came out charging. I think people, thought Pastrana may be a little off pace to begin with. because he spent some time out, hadn't been in the car in a while, and Pastrana, boom, come down, throw down some amazing stage times. Block doing the same, but Higgins, that 2015, the development work they put in, that car is on point. And Higgins from day one, first stage, he set the tone and ran away with it. Block having some trouble. Pastrana having lots of trouble battling back after super rallying and coming back second day to take a podium. First time in something, I don't know, the article's on rallyamerica.com, but first time in years something like that's happened. So those were your 1, 2, 3 in the overall. Lachlan O'Sullivan winning super production and almost mathematically locking up that SP championship with that win. And then two-wheel drive winner Brennan Reeves, who had some struggles on day one with, I believe, with some electronics. He came back and battled to a first place as well and a 6th overall. So solid finish for him as well. So right now we're going to cut to those podium interviews. Here's David Higgins, Ken Block, Travis Pastrana, Lachlan O'Sullivan, Brennan Reeves. And when we come back, we'll continue to dissect this. And then we've got Ramana Lagemann, who's going to be calling in here in about 10, 15 minutes. So, here is Block, Pastrana, and Higgins. All right, we're here at the finish line, 2015 New England Forest Rally, catching up with David Higgins, who, this is the one you wanted. You wanted the competition, you wanted the battle, and came out on top. You got to be pretty happy.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely unbelievable. Previous rallies we've all been, looking at championship points, protecting points, or trying to gain back or whatever. But this one, there was no points at stake. It was just a pure speed battle, and we've had a great rally. The car's been absolutely awesome. Me and Craig have worked super hard before the rally and during it, so really happy the way it's turned out. And I think the experience of being in these cars for a full championship is made the difference this weekend.
Yeah, well, I know you guys, came out right out of the get-go and set the tone for the whole rally. I think on the very first stage, and from then on, it's been push. I don't think you guys have let up yet. No, it's big. We haven't been going like yesterday for sure. We were taking big risks yesterday, but this. Today is the first run out this morning. I was just checking my notes, checking for the bad bits because we knew we were first on the road, but knew we had a fair bit left. And then obviously when Ken had his problem, it made it a whole lot different. But we've had fun, and this car works better when you're driving it hard. So we've had a great time. But I'm more than ready for all the reasons to come out.
So, we're 6 rounds in, got 2 left. Obviously, a lot of people talked about the perfect season. I know I don't want to put you on the spot about that, but, what do we take into these next 2 rallies?
A little bit more confidence again, a little bit more speed from the car again, and, every time we go in the car, it's better. So, I've never enjoyed my driving more than what I am at the actual moment, and probably people often say, what's your favourite rally? I don't have a favourite rally, but I'd say this is probably one of my standout performances. We had a plan before the rally, and we've gone out there and we've done what we had to do.
Yeah. Well, talking about this car, you got to be pretty happy. Is there anything left to develop? I mean, you guys have pushed this car, to the limits. Is there anything more to find?
Yeah, there's bits for sure. We know some areas where we can get some speed, and today even we've the engine's been turned back a little bit today just for safety this afternoon. So it's been absolutely awesome, and these boys from Vermont know how to build a rally car, that's for sure.
All right, well, thanks a lot. Congratulations, David.
Thank you very much.
All right, catching up here at the finish line with Travis Pastrana, and you got to be pretty happy. Not only your teammate Higgins, taking yet another win, but your performance, after yesterday, you got to be pretty happy with the way the car performed, and you and Chrissy.
Definitely, couldn't be happier, with the result. I think that the team really stuck behind me. They just never say die attitude. Chrissy, man, we were trying every possible thing in the world to get that little electrical problem fixed yesterday. But today I was disappointed in myself that we couldn't figure out how to get the pace. We felt like we were being real smooth at the beginning, and we were only losing a second a mile. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to start charging. And we charged to where we should have been off quite a few times. We were, just full tilt, and we were actually we were a second and a half a mile off the pace. We were actually further off, trying harder. So really need to get with the team, and David's extremely helpful. He was my first coach, and he's he loves competition, and he loves when Ken's here, he loves when I'm here, when Ramana comes, and everybody. He's been helping me to try to get up there, and hopefully we'll keep rallying and be able to find the pace of these guys, because it's frustrating not being able to run up top.
Well, and the rest of this year, I mean, obviously I know Nitro Circus kicks off, the fall tour here in the United States. What's on tap for you the rest of this year?
Ojibwe is one of my favorite rallies as well. I love LSPR. It's probably my favorite of the rallies, but I won't be able to make LSPR, but I'll definitely do Ojibwe. Christy and I learned a lot from this, and we're definitely going all out to try to be on pace. And I won't say we always try to win. Everybody here, they show up, they try to win, and we believe we can. But I tell you what, David is on fire. His speed, his times, his lack of mistakes, it's pretty amazing. It was awesome to have Ken here. Ken's been doing all the GRCs, but still, it's the first time back with Alex for a little bit in the U.S. So it's tough to catch that 75.
All right, thanks a lot, Travis, and congrats.
Thank you very much.
All right, catching up here with Ken Block at the finish here at New England Forest Rally. We found yourself on the podium. I know you guys have had some ups and downs this rally, but you got to be pretty happy with battling back to the podium.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy day today. It was kind of a crazy weekend. We were battling, like a sick engine all events, and really kind of sucked here at the end. It would barely launch on the last two stages, but it is what it is. I came out, had a lot of fun. Great to see all the fans out there. Really enjoyed the stages. Would have liked to have battled for the win, but it just wasn't meant to be. And I'm sitting here in second overall, which is great, and happy to come away with that, but just a little frustrated too. But it's all right. I'll be back.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Congrats on the podium. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Lachlan O'Sullivan, our winner in Super Production. I got to tell you, man, it was a wild rally, but you were one of the guys that kept your nose clean, and solid effort. I think top 5 outright. I don't know the official positions yet, but you got to be pretty happy with the effort.
Yeah, I mean, either 4th or 5th overall, first in class. It's awesome. Not a dent on the car at all. We didn't have to replace any panels. Great crew work. It was awesome. It was really awesome. Car was perfect. Yeah.
So, I know you've had that battle with Nick Roberts going on. You guys got to be pretty happy now. I think, I don't know if you've clinched it up, but you got to be pretty darn close at this point.
I don't know the exact math. I believe we clinched it against Nick, our biggest competitor. And I don't know how it works out with Gary Gill. He could possibly sneak in if he gets the last 2 events overall. Maybe it's a little up in the air. But we're very close to getting a championship here, at least, if not have clinched it already.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Congratulations. It's solid effort put in by you guys, and we'll let you celebrate a little bit.
Thanks a lot. Definitely big celebrations tonight. Really appreciate everybody out there, all the support.
All right. Thanks, Lachlan.
No worries.
All right. Here with two-wheel drive winner Brendan Reeves. You came, you saw, you conquered. You got to be pretty happy.
Yeah, great result. Like last 2 stages, we just wanted a clean run, because it had sucked to throw it away there. We're also worried about that outright 6th position. But really, really good. We put 2 new DMAC tyres on and had a good, clean run. The car today performed excellent. It was just flat out everywhere, and even loved the wet conditions too, so that was really nice. And then once the stages swept up, the car was really good, made some setup changes, and it reacted to them changes too, so that was great. And having Anthony in the car and working with such a professional team was really nice.
So, looking at the rest of the season, what's left for you? Are we going to see you in Rally America? Are you running some more events in Australia? What's on tap?
This car's going straight back to England, but yeah, you never know. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Brendan. Congrats on the win. I know, man, it was a tough earn this weekend. It was lots of carnage out there.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
All right, that was your winners and your overall podium finishers from New England Forest Rally up there in Sunday River, and man, just an amazing event. And I got to tell you, first time I've ever been up to Sunday River. I know they have Red Bull Frozen Rush up there, same venue, and man, the place is awesome. If you're a skier, you're a snowboarder, place to be in the winter. If you're an action sports enthusiast, definitely a place to go in the summer. They've got zip lining, they've got all kinds of downhill mountain biking, just an epic venue, epic race. Whether you're going there in January for Frozen Rush or July for New England Forest Rally, it's definitely worth the trip. The place, putting themselves on the map with some awesome events up there. So stoked to be up there and just stoked on the whole vibe. First time I've really spent a lot of time up there in the Northeast, and talk about a beautiful place, the country. Go up there about December, January, you're probably going to freeze to death. But this time of year, absolutely beautiful up there. And just an amazing event overall. Tip of the cap to Rally America for doing such a great job, and all the sponsors that made that work. Did get hit up on Twitter. Gosh, I love our audience. one of the Rally America media team, Matt Kalish, shot me a tweet. Podium for Super Rally. Last time that happened was David Higgins at STPR 2013. So I was definitely off on my dates, but thanks a lot, Matt, for keeping me in line. But Higgins, 2013 Super Rally, he was able to do it, but it's not an easy feat. So, look at it right there. It took a guy like Higgins to be able to make that happen. So those of you not familiar with Super Rallies, basically if you get a broken car on the first day, it allows you to fix your car, re-enter on day number 2, and you take a big time penalty. So that's why it makes it so hard to make the podium, because you miss stages or you didn't finish, you take this huge time penalty in with you the next day. So it almost makes it virtually impossible to podium. But if you're in it for the points, you can probably still get an official finish out of it. So it's an interesting concept, and it's definitely it's definitely made for some good racing, but to battle back to a podium, especially an overall podium, it's very, very tough. So props to Travis Pastrana for definitely making that happen this weekend. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have Ramana Lagemann is going to be calling into the show. We're going to talk a little more Rally America and kind of I haven't really caught up with Ramana. We've talked this year. But a lot. But I want to know kind of about his history and his, how he got started in rally and his pro drive days with Subaru. So we're going to get the whole, the whole full circle of Ramana here. If you've been a rally fan, you've known that name for a long time. The guy is kind of a bit of a legend around rally circuits. So going to be fun to catch up with him here, and then don't forget we've got Lucas Oil results, pro motocross, all that coming up and more in hour number 2. But here's some commercials. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound of the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle. Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And, man, it has been all Rally America thus far on the show, and we're going to continue that on. We've got Ramana Lagemann calling in here in just a few minutes to talk some Rally America, some M Sport, talk a little bit about his career, and who knows where else it'll go, but Ramana, just a solid guy that's he's been rallying for a very long time, and and he's not an old guy. He's just been at it for a long time, and should really be quite a cool interview here in just a little bit. But I just once again have to give props out to M Sport. I don't know if we ever thought we'd see M Sport at a Rally America event with a full slate of engineers from M Sport. Pretty much all the brass from M Sport was there, aside from Malcolm Wilson. It was definitely a solid effort, and those cars definitely quite quick. Obviously, we saw Brennan Reeves almost take a top 5 overall in his R2, and then Ramana having some troubles on at the start, but battling back, and we saw those times just melt away on day number 2. So, and give a big shout out to Natalie Richard too, who rode with Ramana. Only the second time she's been in the car with Ramana, but she's a world-class co-driver. And it's great to see her back in Rally America. It's been a few events since we've seen her, and not really doing things full time anymore. She'd love to do it full time. It's just the right ride coming along. But great to see her in a top level ride once again in Rally America, and and really pushing with Ramana up the leaderboard. So it's always fun. Always definitely very cool to see. And M Sport. What more can you say? Synonymous with rally worldwide and globally. And that was a big investment for them to come to the UK to the United States. It doesn't. That was a very large undertaking, and I know Ken Block was definitely involved in that, making it happen. That was just all in all, New England Forest Rally 2015 is one for the record books, that's for sure. And quite funny, Facebook once in a while does these things where where you have where it pops up on your personal Facebook like, oh, every year, this happened a year ago today, and this happened a year ago today, or something like that, or this happened 3 years ago today. So I got one of those on my personal Facebook this morning. Walk in, and it was actually one that it was from last year, and it was actually Pastrana and Higgins and myself and Jared DeAnda, so it was kind of cool from after they clinched the championship last year. But right now, Ramana Lagemann calling in, and we're going to pick him up. How's everything going, Ramana?
Hey, Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just getting back to Arizona. Got to spend a little time in Boston yesterday, kind of around your stomping grounds. Had a good time. Went out to Fenway Park and got to check that out.
Nice. So you did your proper tourist attraction day, huh?
Yeah, it was. I only had a few hours to kill, and I go, well, I want to see Fenway Park because you can't go to Boston and not see Fenway. I'd seen like old Ironsides before, and so it was one of those things. I just really wanted to check out Fenway. Man, got to see it, and it was really cool. Kind of older part of Boston, and awesome.
Yeah, it's a great city. There's a lot to offer, but it's a nice, manageable size, so I love it. I haven't found a reason to leave yet, although the winter last year was possibly one. But anyway.
Yeah. So, let's talk about your weekend. I mean, M Sport, obviously, coming in, running the R5. I mean, kind of take us to the beginning. I mean, how did this whole deal get put together? Because, I mean, we'd heard about kind of rumors of it all year, and it was kind of up in the air who the drivers were going to be. I mean, that had to be one of those phone calls that you really want to get, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I made the first phone call just to inquire about it after Ken Block put out his press release probably 4 months ago, announcing his schedule. And he mentioned that these two cars were coming over with M Sport running them. So naturally, I, along with many other rallies for sure in North America, were curious who they had planned to drive the cars. And so I inquired and threw my hat in the ring and kind of waited. And they got back in touch with me to just discuss a few things. And I think they had a like view of it as me in respect to having a national driver behind the wheel rather than a WRC driver who would be expected to be at the top end of the competition. They want to sell this car to U.S. competitors, so it was a natural fit, I think, to put a U.S. competitor behind the wheel just to showcase what it could do. So that's basically how it came together. I got a chance to test it about 2 months ago, and that was great. But, man, the car has so much performance. I don't think I got my head fully around it even by the end of the weekend. So, but it was a fantastic opportunity, and the car is incredible.
Yeah.
These new cars these days are just on another level. It's hard to describe.
Yeah. Well, and I know talking with you this weekend, you had said, it was the most advanced car you'd driven in 12 years. I mean, you were back, factory Subaru program with ProDrive, I believe. I mean, how did that car, and that technology compare to what you were driving in the R5?
A little bit different. Our regulations were different then. We had a 40-millimeter restrictor on the turbo, so we had more power, but we weren't allowed to have sequential gearboxes, so we had an 8-pattern gearbox. We were allowed to have active center diffs. Back then, these cars don't, so it's kind of a mix. Technologically, it's all in the chassis nowadays. These cars have so much suspension travel, and the chassis is so well balanced. That's really where they've made strides in speed. These cars are faster than the cars we had 10, 12 years ago, even though they have less power. So something's got to make up for it, and it's all in the chassis. It's a completely different sensation driving sort of a normal rally car with rally suspension and then moving up to one of these cars, which, they have 2 to 3 times more suspension travel, and that just gives you so much more capability and performance and grip.
Yeah. Well, in talking about that, I mean, especially, grip, I mean, you've been highly successful the past couple of years, driving rear-wheel drive rally cars, and I guess that gravel machine gun BMW as it's known. How was that transition going back to all-wheel drive? Because, I mean, as far as rear-wheel drive goes, I mean, you've got it dialed in. You're on point. I mean, you put up times with the best of them. I mean, open class times usually in a two-wheel drive. I mean, how was that transition? Is it kind of like relearning how to drive with the all-wheel drive?
Frankly, it's a big transition. I expected it to be a big transition, but having not driven the R5 on stages, I was in for a surprise, to be completely honest. I expected the R5 to be quite a bit faster. That's obvious. But how much speed you can carry in this car is just unbelievable. So I wasn't really prepared for it until I actually got through a rally, and now I have a much better frame of reference. And it's not so much the driving, but it's making the notes. Things happen so much faster in this car than they did in the BMW, and you're carrying so much more speed that your notes really have to be on point to take advantage of all the car that has all the performance the car has to offer. And that's really where I was on the back foot. As you mentioned, I haven't driven this caliber of car in 12 years. I haven't driven an all-wheel drive car in 3 years. And in the last 3 years, frankly, I've only done 4 rallies. So it was a big step up for me in performance, and that was expected. Everyone from the team kind of recognized that. They knew that it was going to take me the entire rally to get comfortable. And, frankly, if I had 2 more rallies, I think I'd be there or thereabouts, because you got to put a lot of pieces together, and then you sort of once you make a step, then you realize, okay, now I have to adjust a certain way, and you make another step. So it's not just like taking huge chunks. You have to take small bites and increase your speed and improve the performance, and it's a progressive thing. So it's definitely a challenge, but again, so much fun. After our mishap on day 1, we didn't have a scratch on the car, which I'm happy about, and we set some good times.
Yeah. Well, and looking at globally, I know, this R5, people in Europe very aware of it. I mean, the car runs in WRC2, I believe, quite frequently. What do you think about the future of this car in North America and Rally America, and even, Canadian Rally Series for that matter? I mean, as a platform, I mean, to me, outsider looking in, I was talking with Ken and, and now hearing what you said, I mean, this car, it seems like, you get a driver who can spend some time in it and, and figure the car out with a very competent co-driver. And I think this car is one that can run up front and compete for wins.
Yeah, absolutely. The great thing about what Ford and M Sport offer is they sort of offer a ladder progression throughout the sport, starting with the R2 1600 to the R2 1 liter and on up. So you can really progress through the Fiesta line, and so basically what I'm saying is the R5 is not for everybody. Clearly, it is quite a bit less expensive than Ken's car that he's driving now. It's probably quite a bit less expensive than the factory Subaru cars if you wanted to go buy one, but it's still not cheap, and it's only going to reward someone who's going to drive it and push the limit. So I think M Sport is realistic about the market for that car in North America. There might be, say, potentially 4 or 5 people that would have the abilities and budget to purchase the car, drive it, and race it. But once you buy that car, it has really, really low running costs for the performance it offers, and the spares replacements costs are also very attractively priced. You can buy that car, run it for a whole season, not have to mess with the gearbox or the engine, and that's really big. I mean, you could spend, say $50,000 less, but have to do a gearbox and an engine, and they're, evaporates all your cost savings compared to some other cars. So it's definitely a great car for the market. The 2-liter engine that they've built is awesome. It's got a lot of production-based parts, so it's not overly expensive to run, but it still offers a ton of torque and horsepower to get the thing moving. So great platform, great product.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to go back to, the start, because I'm trying to think back, and I think we're, you and I are about the same age, and, it's time I was kind of getting my feet wet in off-road, and I remember watching, I think it was on Speed Vision at the time, some of the old, some of the old rally events that were televised there, and you being a pro drive driver and things like that. I mean, how did you get your start in rally? I mean, let's go back to the beginning. I mean, because, you've been around rally for quite some time. That doesn't mean you're old. It just means that, you started really young and were, and very good at it. I mean, going back to the beginning, how did you get, bit by the bug?
Well, I'm not getting any younger, that's for sure. But I got bit by the bug watching ESPN as a kid. There was a show called Secrets of Speed, and they profiled Audi in the late 80s, and they profiled Audi's rallying success and Trans Am and SCCA road racing success, as well as Pikes Peak. And I remember as a kid, 5, 6 years old, seeing that, and that is what hooked me. And ever since then, I love the sport and hooked on it. And as soon as I could get into a rally car when I was 19, I bought a Volkswagen Golf that was already prepared. It had a roll cage and all the safety equipment. It cost me $2,500, and my good friend Bill and I ran that car, and that's how we started. It was Maine Forest Rally, which is now New England Forest Rally, in 1999, and it's been a ball ever since. I kind of progressed up the ladder pretty quickly. I got spotted by Subaru, and within a couple of years, I was a factory driver for them, and that sort of evaporated quickly due to some market conditions changing, and some of our competitors leaving the sport. So it's unfortunate that the sport in the U.S. has not been very stable. It always has its peaks and troughs. If you were to be at New England Forest Rally this weekend, you'd say, wow, the sport looks really strong. There are, 5 really strong cars at the front of the field, 5, 6 cars really that are really strong at the front of the field, versus just 1 or 2 in the rest of the year. This is kind of the competition level that I remember from 2006 through 2008, and even going before that to 2001 to 2003, we had, multiple drivers and teams that could win events, and that's what the fans want to see. That's what we as competitors want to see. So, I have been involved in the sport for a long time, but I still feel like I have a lot more rallying in me, and hopefully there'll be some more opportunities to exercise my passion.
Yeah. Well, in talking about that, I know, New England Forest Rally was just the fans turnout, the driver turnout was absolutely tremendous. I mean, you know what the schedule looks like, the landscape of rally. I mean, what do you think we need to do to make every event a New England Forest Rally and draw those entries? I mean, what do you think this, how do we take that step forward and make New England Forest Rally happen at, at say 5 or 6 events rather than just 1?
Well, I think we need stronger manufacturer support. Subaru have been a tremendous supporter of rallying in the U.S. for many, many years, and they've allowed a lot of competitors to enjoy the sport and have some support from a manufacturer with contingency and parts and stuff like that. So, but not everyone wants to race a Subaru, and people want to see other cars out there, and if we have other manufacturers supporting rallying, not just with a factory team, but supporting customers and supporting competitors, I think that's a big step. Getting the media out there, having some sort of way to bring the sport to the fans, because as you know, it's tough to get out into the woods, and there are a lot of really psyched up fans who did get out there and watch the sport live, and kind of chew the dirt and all that. But for the most part, to make it commercially viable, you need media, and people like Ken Block are experts at that. So getting the sport out to the masses is the other part. And those are 2 really important components.
Yeah, completely agree. So looking at the rest of this year, I mean, I know we've seen you. You did Idaho Rally. I think you did. Was it Oregon Trail earlier on in the year? I know you've got full-time job and you do rallying. When you can fit it in. I mean, we're going to see you at any more events this year, or you pretty much done for the year. What's left for you?
Right now, I don't have any plans. I had planned to do a few rallies in the BMW earlier this year, which we did, and of course the R5 here at New England. Right now, no plans. I might be in a two-wheel drive car later this year. We'll see. Maybe the BMW, but like I said, nothing firm. Right now, I'm just going to focus on work at home and keep my options open. There's been a lot of interest generated from this outing with M Sport. And maybe I was able to remind a few people that I'm still around and still kicking. So we'll see what happens. But, being back in a proper car just reminded me how awesome rallying is. The BMW is great. It's a lot of fun. It's incredibly affordable, and the smiles per dollar is unbeatable in that car. But being in a top spec all-wheel drive car competing with the fastest guys in North America is really it's just a feeling that I haven't had for a while, and something that I really relish and enjoy.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, I mean, being back in a top-level car, I know, you've been one that have been really fortunate. I mean, it seems like, the past couple of years when you've rallied, you either had, Chrissy in the car or Natalie in the car with you. I mean, and, it's had to have been great, and especially, having Natalie back in the car. And I'm sure she was excited to be in a top-level ride once again as well.
Yeah, we were slated to be in a different car, actually, this weekend. We were slated to be in my friend Mark Feinstein's Porsche, which he debuted at the event. And so we were looking forward to that. And then when I told her about this opportunity, she was obviously overjoyed. Yeah. She's kind of stepped back a little bit too, and is focusing more on herself and her work and her life, and looking for good opportunities out there. So this was a great one when it came around, and we were both overjoyed to be in the car. We were, aside from stage one, when we had a few tears, otherwise we were laughing and really, really enjoying what we had out there. It was great.
Yeah, you guys definitely, day number 2, every time you pulled in, I mean, definitely could see the smiles, and you could see the times, just melting away, and as you guys were picking up the pace, and, I would love to see you, and I don't know if it'll happen or not again, but, I think give you another rally in that car, and I think now that you've figured out the capabilities of it, I definitely think, you're going to be right there.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I got to hand it to David. He showed everyone his heels this weekend. He's very dialed in with the car, with the notes, and they have a great package. And, he beat us all fair and square. So I'm not going to say that, just one more rally and I'm going to beat him or beat whoever. But it's a process. It's very difficult to, again, hop into one of these cars, really understand the performance, and get after it. So it takes time, but I'd like to think that given a little bit of time, I could be there. I could be there for sure.
Yeah, for sure, my friend. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in. I know you're still decompressing from the weekend, but hopefully we see you out at another event or two this year. And take care.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Always great to talk to you, and great seeing you this weekend. Hope to see you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Ramana. We'll talk soon, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Bye.
All right. That was Ramana Lagemann, just an absolute a great guy, and one of the best, rally drivers in North America, hands down. The guy is just he's on point. He's driven factory Subaru cars, now with the M Sport deal, and looks like he's been bitten by the bug, and he's definitely looking looking forward to getting back in a top level ride. It sounds like, but talk about a great weekend of rally, and it was just wow. I mean, like he said, if you were there, you would think all the events are this way. It's just, it's awesome. We've got our premier event now, and, it's how do we grow the sport. So giving you a quick rundown before we kind of cap off our Rally America coverage, brought to you by Dirtfish Rally School. We'll give you a rundown of the results here, but obviously overall, David Higgins, Ken Block in second outright, second open class. Third in open class, and third outright, Travis Pastrana. Don't forget he's battling back from a super rally. So that's absolutely a legit finish for Travis Pastrana. And I got to tell you, he from day one he was on point and definitely had some people turning their heads going, wow, he's been out of a car this long and he's this fast, and you hear that interview earlier in Trav, he's just, we just couldn't catch him. He was fast. Don't get me wrong. Probably the drive, aside from David Higgins, though, the drive of the weekend, Lachlan O'Sullivan, Scott Putnam, super production car, 4th overall. Lachlan just driving an absolute phenomenal rally to take that super production win and a 4th overall. I mean, it was just, he was on point, and he delivered when he had to. I mean, it was a great drive by him, super clean, and man, he made it happen. David Sterks rounded out your top 5 overall. He was 4th in open class. Brendan Reeves 6th overall. He was first in two-wheel drive. 7th outright was Peter Fatella. Ramana 8th outright. Troy Miller in 9th. And Will Hudson coming over from the WRC in that Fiesta R2. He finished up in 10th. Our buddy from off-road, Steve LaRosa, he was in that Fiesta ST in 11th. Cameron Steele. James Robinson, your winner in B-Spec. He finished up in 13 in that Honda Fit. Had Gary Gill second in SP, 14th outright. And then we had Gustavo Yakaman, the WEC driver, coming over and making his rally debut, and a solid podium in second in B-Spec. And then Tracy Gardner rounding out your top 3 in B-Spec with a 16th outright. So, that's about it for New England Forest Rally. Phenomenal event. Definitely skip over to rally-america.com. All kinds of content being posted there throughout the next week. And as we roll into Ojibwe, the Ojibwe Rally in Minnesota next month. So definitely go to rally-america.com. And, thanks for an awesome event, Rally America. I had a good time up there in Maine. So, it was a great weekend of action up there in Maine, but other events were happening this weekend, and that brings us to some Lucas Oil coverage, and we're going to get to that as soon as we come back from a commercial break that we are going to right now. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We got Jenn Hellstrom, who was there on ground in Glen Helen, taking in all the action at Lucas Oil. She's going to be calling in after the break, and we're going to talk some LOORRS. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? Jmar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, Jmar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Jmar Brakes.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Just got done with almost darn near an hour of Rally America coverage. Had Ramana Lagemann on air. We had some interviews with Ken Block, Travis Pastrana, David Higgins. Man, it was a great event in New England, but there were other events happening this weekend, and we're rolling right into those with some Lucas Oil coverage presented by General Tire. And here for that is my good friend Jenn Hellstrom. How's everything going, Jen?
It's going good, Jim. Good morning.
Yeah, you had a bit of a wet weekend there at Glen Helen, didn't you?
We sure did, and I'm actually glad to be home and out of the wet weather.
Yeah, it just makes for a mess, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely. That dirt there in Glen Helen, once it starts raining, it just turns into mush, slippery mush. And so even just walking around the pit area is kind of like you're off-roading yourself with just your feet.
Yeah, it's one of those where I haven't been to Glen Helen when it was it was rainy. It's always been dry and dusty when I was there. But is it that mud where you walk and it literally like sucks your shoes off your feet when you take a step?
Yep, absolutely.
Definitely makes for some sticky conditions on the track. So give us a lowdown. So things were rained out on Saturday, and they ran a doubleheader on Sunday, and there was no qualifying for the first race of the doubleheader, right?
Yeah, well, that was the plan. Excuse my voice, too. I have a little cold coming back from all that hot, wet to cold rain.
Yeah.
So the plan was they watched the weather because coming in on Saturday, there was that major storm out of Baja. And so immediately they kind of canceled practice, and they were going to have qualifying at 2:30. 2:30, they canned that, and they just said, okay, we're going to race. And, well, rain came down, flooded the entire pit area, flooded the track. There was no coming back from it on Saturday. So they called for a doubleheader Sunday. Sunday morning, we woke up, blue skies. We get to the track around 8 a.m., and they're doing the course work, and they actually got the course nice for these guys to race Saturday night's round, which would be round 9. And went out there and had some great racing, but it was the typical Glen Helen. It dried out quick. It was dusty. It was hot. And then you add in the humidity, too. It was definitely a day of a mix of different weather, for sure.
Yeah.
But they did get one round in, which was good for the guys, good for the teams, because it would have been a bummer if they drove all that way and didn't even get to race at all.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, it's got to just affect the drivers. I mean, mentally, you're prepared to race, and then it gets delayed, and then, we're going to do it this day, and then it's Saturday. And, I mean, it's really got to play with these guys, mind games with the teams almost.
Absolutely. It's a waiting game. You stand around and you wait for the officials to make a decision. And, they'll give you a certain time that they're going to make one, and you don't hear from them. So the teams are literally just sitting around, twiddling their thumbs, waiting on what to do.
Yeah. So give us a lowdown on some of the racing on course when we finally did get to racing. How did things go? From what I understand, Pro 4, I mean, Kyle LeDuc, he was on point once again, huh?
Absolutely. He ran away with it. Immediately in the first lap, there was a 5-car gap between him and Bryce Menzies. And then Bryce Menzies ended up breaking 4-wheel drive, so he fell to the back of the pack. And there were a couple of mandatory yellows thrown out that brought the group all back together. And at every restart, Kyle would still pull away. And towards the end of the race, actually, it was Brian Deegan who ended up coming up and attempting, the closest one to attempt to pass on him, but he was still even 3 car lengths behind. So whatever Kyle's doing, he's doing it right, and stick him to it.
Yeah, to me, and Kyle's a good friend of mine, and it's mind-boggling because, Kyle, for him to win, he's one of the best drivers, in off-road.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get his share of races, but, wins. But, Menzies, McCachran, Deegan, these are some elite-level teams, and the way he's just running away with his championship in Pro 4, to me, it's just, I've never seen anything like it. His dominance, it's these other guys, they've got to be frustrated at this point.
Absolutely. It's got to be frustrating sitting in the back there knowing that my vehicle does not have what it takes possibly to catch his. So pretty much, essentially, they've got to have the mindset of, okay, now we're battling for second because we already know who's going to get first.
Yeah.
And hope and pray that something happens with Kyle and they can end up on the podium. But that was his 8th win in a row. So the odds are really going to have to shift in order for somebody to take over that place.
Yeah, it's at this point, I don't even know what to say. It's just, it's kind of one of those things you go in and, Pro 4, it's normally it's, everybody, who's going to win this weekend? And it's, is this going to be the weekend where Kyle loses is the mindset, it's, I don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in off-road, just this amount of dominance at such a top level. It's nuts.
Yeah, he's killing it for sure. The Pro 2 race, it was actually the first time a Pro 2 race this season has gone from flag to flag without any yellow in between. Yeah. And Menzies led that one early on in the race. Due to not having qualifying, they lined up by point standings. So it was beneficial to those that were leading in points. And unfortunately for Menzies, he ended up breaking in Pro 2, so that's going to set him back in the points. And McCachran probably took over. He ended up winning. And Deegan and Rennesenner were trying to catch McCachran in the Pro 2 race and couldn't. They had nothing for him. Rennesenner was busy holding Deegan off. So that one was a good race, but at the same time it was kind of a very bland race.
Yeah.
There was a little, some carnage going on in some of the turns, it's Rubbins racing kind of thing. But other than that, it was from green to checkered.
Yeah, we're not used to that in Pro 2, man. Normally it's like it's the most exciting race at in Pro Light. I mean, you expect a demo derby, and wow, no flags, nothing wire to wire. I don't know what to even say to that.
I know, right? Yeah, it got done, and you're like, wait, it's done already?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a Pro Light race when the guys were out there. The track had dried up so quickly, and there were so many trucks on course that it was a dust bowl. It was actually hard for me to even watch the race because I'm, right up on the front fence, and every time they come by, they dusted it out. And by the time the dust clears, they're already going into turn 4 and coming right back through the front again. But I know that RJ and Jarrett actually had a pretty good battle, and RJ ended up taking over, and Brandon Arthur pushed himself up into second, and Jarrett down into third. So that's also going to affect points for them because Jarrett Brooks is leading points-wise. So
yeah,
it all comes down to where they decide that they're going to end up putting round 10. They could do it when we go down to Mexico in 2 weeks, or they could wait till the end of the season and put it in with the last race weekend.
Okay. So,
and I think that if they do the last race weekend, it's really going to be tough on the teams because you're really not going to know where you stand points-wise with, 2 final races, and then you also have the Cup race on top of that too. Your truck is going to have to be on point for that weekend.
Yeah, and when are they going to notify the drivers and make an announcement on where that makeup round is going to be? Do we have any idea? I mean, is there a time frame for that, or are they just going to pull a rabbit out of their hat when they decide to?
I'm sure they'll give the teams a heads up, but they haven't announced anything yet. They're probably going back to the drawing board and just seeing where they can honestly fit it in and make sure that the teams that are fighting for the points are going to be there.
Yeah. So what was the buzz around the pit area, in regards to this upcoming race in Baja? I mean, it's the first time that Lucas is really gone down to Mexico. I mean, I know we've seen races down there in Ensenada before, short course races, but it's been quite some time. I mean, obviously the Ampudias are going to be excited about this, but aside from that, I mean, are the teams pretty excited, or is there mixed emotions?
I think it's mixed emotions. It's a big budget to take your team down to Mexico. As we know from desert racing, it's not a cheap thing to do. I know at first it wasn't going to be a points race. So it's kind of, hey, if you and your team want to come down and race, this is the opportunity that Lucas is providing. But unfortunately, because teams didn't really want to spend the money, they didn't have a lot going. And then that's when they made it a points race. So now the teams are having to come together and go, okay, well, we're fighting for the points. We're going to have to go. It seems like now that it's getting closer, the excitement is there. It's new. It's something different. And I think that that's actually what these drivers need is a different course, to change of pace, to bring that excitement back to them.
Yeah. I agree with you there. It seems, Lucas has some amazing tracks. I mean, don't get me wrong. The one they built in Reno, like Elsinore, they've got some amazing tracks. But, it's been kind of the same tracks for the past year or two. And, they may shake up the order you run them in, but it's kind of been the same series. So, you throw something new in there and it re-energizes everybody and gets them excited to see something new,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see what the track is going to be like, and I'm also excited to see the attendance and the fans. We all know how fans can be down in Baja, and they like their action and they like their carnage. So
it's going to be standing room only. I don't know what a ticket's going to cost to get in, but I guarantee you it's going to be a sellout crowd. It's going to be packed.
Well, I'll definitely be down there taking notes, so I'll have a lot to talk about, I'm sure, when I get back from that race.
Nice. And have you heard anything? I know when I was out at the regional race, I was talking with Dave Arnold, the Lucas announcer, and we were talking, about how big of a deal this new live streaming package they've got. But it's not just off road; they're putting together almost like its own TV channel that's going to live stream motorsports events on online type of thing, almost kind of like UFC does, and some of these others, where you spend $9 a month and you get all this programming. But have you heard anything on when that's going to debut? I probably ought to reach out to Lucas, but I don't know if a lot of the listeners even know about that yet. But yeah, live streaming is coming. I just didn't know if you'd heard anything about it.
No, I haven't heard any of the fine details about it. I think that it's great.
Yeah.
It gives those of us that aren't able to make it to the race the opportunity to still watch it and watch our favorite drivers.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that they're going to be providing that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's going to be like $10 a month, I guess. And I mean, to me, to be able to watch the Lucas races live instead of have to wait a month to watch them on, a delay on TV or or sitting there on Facebook waiting for an update from a picture or something. I think it's they're going to hit a home run when they decide to debut it. I didn't know if they had picked a date yet or not. So maybe we'll have to reach out to Lucas and see what we can find out.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you find out, let me know too.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. I know it was buzz around because the funny thing is they've been live streaming the regional races for a while now. It's just been the big nationals that they haven't been live streaming for some reason, and I guess it was so they could get all their ducks in a row and do it right. Which I applaud them for that instead of rushing something. It's just it should be awesome. So.
Yeah, that's good. Always good for our fans when they have more opportunities to watch the racing, and it brings more light into the off-road industry too. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Jen, and as always, welcome. And we'll definitely have to have you after the race down there in Mexico, and find out how things go south of the border.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again for having me. I always appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Jenn Hellstrom, a good friend of mine, and also part of the Down and Dirty Radio Show family. And she, photographer, comes on air and does some updates, and she's all over the place. She does quite a bit, and helps me quite a bit with my program. But definitely good people. And Glenn Helen, man, Kyle LeDuc. What more can you say, man? This guy, if he is not off-road driver of the year this year. I don't know. I mean, obviously Lauren Healy could repeat this year, but he was it last year. I'm sure they want to give it to somebody else. But Kyle, to me, there is nobody in off road that has had a year like him. It's mind blowing how we haven't. I don't know if we've ever seen this level of dominance. I mean, I think back. Desert racing, there was a streak there in Trophy Truck where back in the early 2000s where Dave Ashley and Dan Smith when they had the Durlast Trophy Truck, and it may have been Torque Shift by that point. I can't remember which livery they were running, but there was a streak there where I think they took home 5 straight Trophy Truck wins. And I think we're talking a couple of Baja wins. I think Prim 300. I mean, they just absolutely, there was a level of dominance there with Ashley and Smith, and they were just annihilating the Trophy Truck field. And they had like 5 straight wins, but if you look at the big picture, I mean, it was like 5 straight wins. They lost one and then won a bunch more. So there was one hiccup in the mix, or the streak would have been much longer. But I'm just literally, I think I have to think back that far, almost 15 years at this point, to think of somebody that's had that much dominance. And I'm talking desert and short course. Obviously, Lauren Healy in Ultra 4, he has that going on. I think it's something like he's what did he say last week? 7 or 8 straight wins, or won 7 of the last 8, something crazy like that. I mean, Lauren's just absolutely demolishing guys in Ultra 4. He's definitely on point at this point in time too. But it's puts it into perspective. I mean, what Kyle LeDuc's doing. And, giving you the full rundown there, Kyle LeDuc obviously winning, Brian Deegan second, Rob McCachran third in Pro 4, and then, going to Pro Light. RJ Anderson, solid win there for RJ. Brandon Arthur, Jarrett Brooks rounding out your top 3. A couple young guns down there in second, third. It's funny, I don't consider RJ a young gun anymore. He's definitely a young gun. But at his age, he's already considered a veteran, so it's just weird. But it shows you the age of a lot of these drivers in Pro Light, and this class, it's just crazy how big it's gotten so fast, and the amount of talent. I mean, it's hard to win a Pro Light race. It's definitely hard. With this many good young drivers, and it speaks volumes for the future of the sport 5 and 10 years out. That's definitely for sure. But wins not easy to come by in Pro Light and Pro Buggy. We didn't touch on that with Jen, but Garrett George ended up taking that win there, and Mike Valentine with a second. Chad George finishing up in third in Pro Buggy, and then Pro 2 results. It was Rob Mack, Carl Renazetter, Brian Deegan, so a couple of veterans there, 1 and 2, and Brian Deegan mixing it in. And, man, it was a great weekend there in Glen Helen. Bummer on the rain, but we'll definitely they're going to make it up at some point. As we find out, we'll let you know. And, I'm going to reach out and see if we can find out some more information on this live stream packs. Maybe we can get somebody from Lucas, maybe Richie or somebody on air from the series. I don't know. We'll reach out to him and see if we can get somebody on air and kind of talk about the live streaming, when it's going to come, and give you the details. I know a lot of our listeners, that's been one of the big things, all this time, is when are we going to get live streaming? When are we going to get it? When are we going to get it? That's kind of been the big story, for the past couple of years. And, it sounds like it is coming officially. It's going to be a subscription-based deal, but should be great if and when it does happen. So, thanks to General Tire. That is your Lucas Oil results for the weekend. And, Glen Helen, it's one of those iconic venues that's there. And, you love seeing the racing there. And, moving on to Mexico, though, this is going to be interesting. Baja International Short Course, August 1st and 2nd down there in Mexico. I just expect some wild crowds. Got a lot of short course coming up. We got Baja short course. We got Torque at Sturgis coming up a couple of days after that, and then Vegas to Reno on tap. GRC's got a ton of races. The next 2 months, Torque's got Bark River, and then Lucas has Reno. And then, we've got Cranon, lots of short course the next month and a half. I mean, it's going to be a big month for short course. But those are your Lucas results on the weekend. And big congrats, Kyle LeDuc, continuing his run of dominance. I don't know if anybody can catch this guy. I mean, I want to know what you think. At JimBeaver15, hit me up. Let me know what you guys think. Can Kyle make it perfect for the rest of the season? Do you think he can win out? Let me know. Hit me up at JimBeaver15. Let me know. You think Kyle LeDuc can keep it rolling and win out the rest of this year? I honestly, I think he's going to win majority of them. I think somebody's going to sneak in and snag one. Somewhere along the line, something will happen. Somebody will sneak in and snag one. I don't think he's going to win out. But I think somebody will sneak in and snag one. But I think Kyle will take the rest. But it's just, I don't know. There's no reason to think he can't win out. There's just something that says, it's like motorcycle guys say, when Villapota was winning all those events and Tucker Hibbert, when he's won all those events, as they say in motocross and snowcross, when you're winning, everybody's elbows get a little bit wider. And I think that's what's happening in Pro 4. Obviously they don't have elbows, but everybody's fenders get a little bit wider, and meaning that they're going to race Kyle a little bit harder and a little bit rougher, and and when you're the man on top, things happen, and it's I don't know, man. Kyle, you got to tip your cap to him, though. He has kept it together and dominating Pro 4 at the moment. But we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk some pro motocross. That going down in Minnesota. Ami Houde, my co-host, she was down there on the ground in Minnesota at the event, and we're going to catch up with her and find out the lowdown on what happened at Millville. So all that and more to come on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, as we pop into this commercial break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. And, man, talk about a fun show so far. Lots of Rally America coverage. Ramana Lagemann calling in. Great to catch up with him. Finally get Ramana on the show show live. Obviously, we've had him on Rally America Radio a few times, and just a plug for that once again. Those of you who haven't tuned into that, definitely need to start doing it. We're doing some fun things over there during the Rally America rounds. But Jenn Hellstrom bring us in the loop on Lucas, and we're gonna reach out to Lucas, so see if we can get somebody on air and explain this whole live stream thing. I definitely think it's time. But some interesting news over the weekend: Terracross TV debuting CBS Sports, first round of the 2 rounds in San Diego. Definitely need to watch that. I'm sure it'll be popped up online at some point. They're gonna have some re-airs, so definitely check your local listings. And you can get that dialed in and set for your DVR. We got a bunch of Terracross TV going to debut this year. And then, from what I understand, I got invited to a little party next week about the debut of a new Razor and the new 2016 Razor product line. So, next week, hopefully we'll have a little more information on that. But they are coming. New Razors are coming, and I can't wait to bring you guys in the loop on that. And then also, Rigid Industries finally debuting. We've talked about it for a long time. The Rigid Capture light bar, which is basically a LED light bar with a GoPro mount. So definitely check that out on Rigid social media and their website, taking pre-orders right now. But right now, Ami Houde, she is calling in. Time to hit some of that music and talk with Ami.
You better bust that if you don't pull that. Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at?
How is everything going, Ami Houde?
I am awesome. Struggling a little bit. It was pretty crazy, wild weekend for me. So I'm hitting it hard today. I'm feeling it. Weekend has caught up to me.
Yeah, that was kind of my story for this weekend. Man, I was flying all the way across country to Maine. I mean, pretty much the farthest point in the U.S. That you can get from where I live, I was at. And 3-hour time change, I don't know how many countless hours of flights and driving miles. And I made it up there. It was an amazing event. But mixing the time change and some beers and some short nights of sleep, and I'm feeling the pain today.
Well, for me, it was 20 hours of driving, 27 Red Bulls, 3 sunburns, 6 hangovers, 1 lost friend later. Millville was a success, but we went a little hard. I mean, that's what you do when you go to a race and not race. Yeah, that's... This was the first time in about, oh my gosh, maybe how old am I, 26? We're really, really terrible to say, but 20 years later of going to Millville, this is the first year I've ever gone in 20 years and not raced. So it was almost like I was partying to get rid of the feeling of not racing. But no, it's actually kind of nice to go somewhere once, and there's no pressure. Millville, there's always a lot of pressure because it's like the one big national that I go to, and I always want to do good there. And there's always so many people kind of waiting all year to watch you ride, and I'm just like, okay, well, I got to show up and do good. So it's nice to have the pressure off for once and just hang out and really be a fan. I mean, I had to buy my pit passes to even get into the pits this weekend, which was kind of funny. But no, we full on did the fan life this weekend, and we actually did watch some racing in between all that shenanigans. But it was awesome.
Yeah, you guys, it was a whirlwind for you guys. Did the bikes even make it down there? I know that was the dilemma. Do we take the bikes or not? Did the bikes even make it? No? Yeah,
No, because, we all worked, and we were initially planning on going to Redbud, but then just some of the schedule kind of clashed, and my friend decided, my friend's coming down from California this week, so we just kind of last minute decided that we're even going to go, and so Friday, I started... Okay, most people don't know, but I have a regular job. So I work Monday to Friday for Pepsi, and, I got to do the whole 7 in the morning till whenever I'm done, my job. So I didn't really know what my day was going to be looking like on Friday. I'm like, hey, either I can be done at noon, try to get away early, or I'm going to be working till 4 o'clock, and it's a 10-hour drive one way for us. So I sold half of my day on Thursday, and then Friday I snuck away pretty early, and we all met up at 10 o'clock in my house and left. But we had to go through there's 2 borders in Manitoba. There's the big border, which is kind of scary because, they always pull you over and check everything, and it's always just a hassle and stuff. But then there's this other border where there's like 2 people who work there. They totally know us by name because we cross there all the time to go racing. But it's a little bit of a detour out if you're not going to a track kind of in that direction. I mean, it's a good hour and a half add on extra time to your traveling because it's just the other direction. But Ashley lost her passport, of course. So we're like, okay, we got to go through the small border because maybe we won't get any issues with it because these guys know us. And so we pulled up to the border and we're like trying to give them this big spiel on why Ashley doesn't have a passport and she lost it. And we called and they said she needed this and this. And the guy's like, all right, whatever. See you guys. Have a good trip. Like, they don't even care. It was pretty funny. We probably could have, like, smuggled a whole family of Mexicans in the truck with us because they did not care. But, yeah, no. It's good to have good relationships at customs. Saves a huge headache. But, yeah, no, man, when 2 girls travel together and, like, 2 moto chicks, like, we all are exactly the same personalities, it's always going to be one crazy adventure. So It was good.
I'm assuming we're going to see a video from the shenanigans at some point.
You know what? We kind of decided that we're going to keep the camera closed this weekend. Sometimes you just got to go, and you got to go with no evidence to come back home with. You know, especially for not racing. We don't really need people to see what kind of those kind of shenanigans we get up to. It's just more about when we go on a motocross trip, we're going to film racing. When we go to kind of hang out and party, yeah, people don't need to see that. We don't need to remind ourselves of it, you know.
Yeah.
No one wants to see a hangover.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's what's weird for me. You know, I'm used to going to events and racing, and when I go and it's strictly to talk on the mic or something like that, or be on camera, it's quite interesting because I feel like you know, there's something missing, and it's like in the evening, you know, normally if you're racing, you know, you don't drink, you know, you try and get to bed early and stuff like that, and if you're there and you've got none of that to do, it's like, well, what do I do? Well, I guess I go and have beers with my friends. And beers ends up being more beers, and then you know, the 10 hours of sleep you were going to gets down to 5 hours of sleep to 4 hours of sleep, and it definitely makes for some long days.
No, yeah, definitely. We were just there to be fans and just to hang out and support our friends who are racing, and you know, basically be the cheerleaders in the crowd, which we did. I honestly lost my voice cheering for my friends as loud as humanly possible, and I'm like up in the collarbone at Millville, like on the top of the hill, and clearly they could not hear me, but I just feel like the louder you cheer, the better they go. So that's what I had to do.
So speaking of on track, I mean, how was the racing up there?
It was awesome. I mean, it's so good to finally see some stuff live. And, I mean, Supercross is really cool, but you go to an outdoor national and just the speeds that those guys go and the intensity, it was like 100 and some degrees outside. It was crazy. There's just, it's so cool to see in person, and I always tell people, like, you know, I teach a lot of motocross schools, like I said, and talk to a lot of, like, up-and-coming families in the racing industry, and I always tell them, if you get the opportunity, take your kid to an outdoor national, because they're just going to be inspired. I mean, if you're at a local race, you really don't know the level of racing and the speed that these guys can actually go unless you witness it live. It's totally different than what you see on TV. It's incredible. Even just hearing them, like, not letting off the gas the whole time and how they enter and exit corners just completely on the gas, like fourth gear wide open. It's a sight to see, definitely. So it was good to watch some live racing. And I mean, the 250s, there was a lot of heated battles, and the 450s was a little mellow, but there was some good racing in the 250 class. So it was great.
Yeah, how does that course at Millville stack up against a lot of the others? I mean, what makes it unique? I've never been there, so not super familiar with it.
Everybody always says that Millville is one of the favorite rounds of the AMA Outdoor Nationals, just because, I mean, the track is carved into the side of a mountain. Like, there is straight uphills, and you do a 90-degree turn and go straight down the downhills. It is so cool. It's so fast and wide open, and there's a lot of different terrain. I mean, Millville is known for their, you know, never-ending sand whoop. So you go all the way down the bottom, right along the creek one way. There's like 40 whoops, and you turn around and go 40 rollers all the way back. Like, it's cool.
I remember back in the day, the whoops actually got a little bit more tame now, but back in the day they were deadly even for amateur day. I mean, people were just like intimidated by the rollers. And I just remember when I was a little girl watching James Stewart go through those. He could hit them better than anybody, and everybody would go to watch James Stewart through the rollers. So, yeah. And then I mean the track just has so many like infamous sections on it. The rollers where the whoop monster used to always be, and now the catapult, where they have that iconic photo of Chad Reed launching like freaking 2 stories in the air over the big uphill triple, which is now called the catapult for obvious reasons. But the thing about Millville is they have some weird weather. I don't know if it's because they're kind of a little bit in the valley. One day it will pour, like torrential downpour, and then the next day it's going to be like the hottest day of the whole outdoor season, and that's how it is every year since I've been going. Amateur day always gets slammed with rain, or like open ride day on Friday gets slammed with rain, and then come pro day it is, they're practicing and qualifying in just a mucky disaster, and racing is in 100-degree weather. So that's what happened this weekend again. A lot of riders, I know, were struggling with qualifying. Unfortunately, Dakota Alex, who rides for the KTM Orange Brigade team, didn't even qualify to make it into the mains. The track was just incredible. They couldn't even, the guys on the 250s were having a hard time doubling triples. It was insane. So it just really shows what kind of like track conditions were like. When that track gets wet, it gets very, very slick and almost greasy because of the type of soil in some sections. And I mean, you're staring at these uphill and downhills that if you walk them, you can put your arm out and touch the side. Like, it is straight up and down vertical, and you get those wet. The guys are struggling to get up there, and there's this poor guy in 250 class on a 2-stroke, just bike winged out as loud as it could possibly go, just struggling to make it up those uphills. Oh my gosh, it was a sight to see. But yeah, no, Millville is so cool. The terrain is so cool, and just the whole facility. I mean, the fact that Martins have a house right there, and their, this amazing national motocross track is basically their backyard. And even the drive-in, you could drive in 30 minutes. It's like a 30-minute drive once you get off the highway through these winding, twisty roads that would just be amazing on a motorcycle. But you like drive into heaven. From a little girl, like, that place was always my heaven. Nothing was better than going to Millville every year. So if I can, tell anybody to go to one track, go to Millville. That track is amazing. It is so cool. It's the best facility. They have a live band comes and plays every night. They have a huge stage set up, tons of vendors. It's definitely the most well put together national of the year, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask, how was the pop for Ryan Dungey being the hometown kid there?
Oh my gosh! Well, and the Martin brothers as well. Jeremy won a 250 national championship last year, so this year, the Minnesota boys are such a crowd favorite. But Dungey every year, people, when he goes around the track, you can just hear the crowd, cheering. You know which section he is in, at all times, because the crowd just starts to cheer when he goes by. And that's the same way it was for Alex and Jeremy too. So it was pretty cool. It's cool to see all the fans. And, that's Minnesota too. They're so proud it's interesting. But I have to say, I gotta give it up to Cooper Webb. Clearly, obviously, one of my favorite riders out there. But he showed some real adversity this weekend. Jeremy having a home track advantage, Cooper being out for the first couple of rounds of the season, and he wins Moto number 1 and kind of like walked away from everybody at the beginning. Like, that just shows how confident and how confident he is in himself and his abilities. Everybody was blown away, and like everybody in the industry was just kind of hats off to him, because it's good to get that monkey off your back. And we always talk about team rivalry and how much more confidence can you get beating your teammate at their home track. So yeah, there's a lot of sass going around the pitch this weekend. It's sad, but it is what it is. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So what do you make for the rest of the season? We're winding this thing down. I'm just trying to look at the schedule here, and we literally only have like a handful of events left, right? 4 events.
There's not too many. it's too bad that Marvin didn't have a better second moto, but the first moto, I mean, he pulled out in front and was gone from everyone. He had a huge lead, and all by himself, right before the finish line, dug his front end into a corner and fell. And then he actually got his bike stuck in the rut because the first moto still, things were a little bit slick. The track was still a little wet. And, I mean, Millville ruts up like crazy. You could walk in a rut, and it'd be up to, like, your hips. Some of the corners get pretty deep. But, yeah, it was too bad for Marvin, and he was kind of struggling to put it together in Moto number 2. But he is only about 10 points behind Jeremy Martin. And, I mean, Marvin's goal was to win the 250 championship. And, I mean, he's been at it for how long? And that's been the biggest monkey on his back as well, is just trying to salvage something in 250s before he moves to 450. And I just know if he can have a strong rest of the season, you know, I know he's going to do what it takes to win that championship. And I'd really like to see him. Marvin's such a cool guy and a cool character, you know, and I would really, really like to see him win. He just had some bad luck.
Yeah, you know, he had a solid effort in Supercross, finally got that, you know, monkey off his back, I guess. I mean, do you think we see him in 450s next year?
Oh, yes. He said, like, he's going to 450s, but he's not going to be satisfied until he wins that 250 championship. And he's the kind of guy who is very similar to Ryan Dungey, slow and steady, very calculated, knows what it takes to win a championship. I mean, he rides for a championship, not race to race. But, I mean, he's on one of the best teams, and, you know, being teammates with Dungey, maybe they, you know, talk a little bit, share some experience, and share some tips and tricks. But I'd really, really like to see him win. And, you know, I'm a little bummed out, too. Ken Roxon all weekend looked a little down and out. I saw a lot of photos online and stuff. And usually you see Kenny in the pits, you know, chatting up with fans and, you know, moseying around and, like, talking to everybody. But even through some of the pictures that I seen of him on the podium, like, he looked bummed. I know that he is not happy with, I think he finished 4th overall, not even top 3, but I don't know what's going on with him. I thought he was going to be a little bit more of you know, that number 1 spot chaser this season. So hopefully he's able to figure it out.
Yeah, he can. I mean, the guy is one of the best. You know, it's just...
No.
You know,
he doesn't seem like himself anymore. He really doesn't seem like the crazy Ken Roxon that I once knew him as. And, I mean, I don't know if his personality really, like, transpired into his racing, but it was so cool that he was this guy who was winning, but he also was a really big personality outside the track. So it really looked like, you know, he was having a lot of fun with it. I don't know, you know, what's going on, but, yeah, it just doesn't seem like he's having as much fun as he used to. But, I mean, if you're not winning, are you really having fun? So, who knows?
Yeah. Well, here's a question. You know, looking at this fall, 2 events come to mind that kind of my favorites of the year. They're both in the same month, but obviously you got Monster Energy Cup, which is, you know, non-points, all about money. We always get a great turnout of guys out of the woodwork for that. But the other one, Red Bull Straight Rhythm, you know, it's non-sanctioned, so obviously we can see James Bubba Stewart back. I mean, you looking forward to those 2 events?
I cannot wait for James to come back. He has just been one of my favorite riders forever, and I miss him. And I'm sure, like, so many other fans miss him, but it's so weird to not see him even at Millville. He's so aggressive, and he makes for good racing. Like, I found the 450s just boring. Like, it was like watching paint dry. And I'm sorry, people are going to mock me for saying that, but, I mean, I've watched years and years of racing, and when it was always Carmichael and Stewart, like, you saw battles till the finish line. And right now, I'm just not seeing, you know, the level that it used to be, and I like that battles. Like, I like that rivalry, and I like seeing people just putting it all on the line, and he was such an entertaining rider to watch. So I really hope he comes back soon, and yeah, we'll definitely see him at Red Bull Straight Rhythm, and, you know, him and Malcolm as well. So, yeah, I'm excited. And Monster Cup, I will be going this year for sure. It's one that I cannot miss. Always really, really cool, but you don't see all the guys show up because they want to kind of stay safe. And, you know, some people just aren't Supercross riders, so if they don't have to do it, they just do not. So, yeah, I'm actually really interested to see who's going to line up this year. So, It'd be cool for someone else to win that. I mean, the only person who ever did was Villapoto. How cool would it be if he came out of the woodwork just to do Monster Cup?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I didn't even think about that. Doing he says officially retired, but do a big career send off and do Energy Cup. That'd be cool. Yeah, I could possibly see something like that happening. Obviously, with the Monster and Red Bull thing, you're not going to see him do straight rhythm just because. But I could see that. That'd be fun. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like he's pretty banged up right now, but I'm sure if he get it together. It's the thing about Monster Energy Cup. A lot of guys run the first. Run the first race, and if they don't win, they just quit because then they know they don't have a chance of millions. So I'm not interested, and they just quit. So it's kind of almost a bummer,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like I didn't go last year. I went the year before, and then the year that Villopoto won. So yeah, it should be a toss-up. I'd like to see. I mean, if I could maybe put money on anybody winning it, I guess, geez. I'd like to see Seeley. Seeley has been a really consistent Supercross rider, and he's kind of one of those guys who could put it all on the line and do it. I don't know. I really have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I. And there's always somebody that steps up and out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's easy to say, Dungey's got a really good chance to win it. But it seems like, there's always some guy that's that you just don't know, or a 250 rider stepping up to a 450 for the one event, and they do really good. And it's like, whoa, where did he come from,
Cooper Webb!
Yeah.
That's who I want.
I could see that. I could definitely see that happening. So
I don't know how he would be on a 450. I mean, he's still kind of a little guy, and he's not too big, but yeah, I don't know how he would even be able to handle a 450. I'm not too sure. But, again, we were really surprised when Cole Seeley jumped. I was really surprised when Cole Seeley jumped from a 250 to 450. I was really, really impressed on how he was able to transition, and he definitely held his own, and he's going to be winning championship here very, very soon.
Yeah. Well, it's been so long since we've talked motocross. What's the status? You heard anything? I didn't even look into it. It just popped in my head. What's up with Dean Wilson?
He's still rehabbing. I actually had talked to him when I was in St. Louis. I just gave him a shout and see what was up. He thought I was in California, I think, for some reason. But no, he's, I think he just had surgery, or he's going for surgery and just rehabbing or something. But no, he told me he has 4 months? Something, like he's a little ways away. He's not coming back for outdoors anytime soon. So, no, hopefully we'll see him at Supercross. But, he's one of those guys. He's just been so resilient and persistent, and he's had a lot of ups and downs in his career, but it seems like he always comes back still same, very confident and very secure, and it's really nice to see that, all this kind of bad luck doesn't put a damper on his spirit, and it's good to see that a lot of people get hurt, and you see them just kind of running at the back of the pack. Like, what happened to Justin Hill? I don't really know. I mean, he was one of the top Supercross guys defending going after the championship, killing it in Supercross, and he was just floating around at the back of the pack this weekend. So I'm not really too sure what's going on with Hill, but I got to kind of look into that. But you see a lot of these guys have a really good year and then like a terrible year, and Dean's always been still consistent. Other than injuries, he's always still been that top 5 guy, and I really, really commend him and respect that. I mean, it's hard to do. It's hard to take so much time off and then come back and still be kind of at the same spot. I know he wants to be winning, and he definitely has the ability to be the top guy out there, but he's just struggling with some bad luck.
Yeah, same thing with Cian Cerullo. I mean, he was out for so long, just had a hard time,
I know. He just needs to eat some cheeseburgers, I tell you. I'll say that all the time. He's just,
there's most guys are worried about cutting weight and, being in shape, and Cian Cerullo, you need to put him on the McDonald's Super Size Me diet, right?
I don't. Well, he's so tall. Like, he's really grown into himself. He used to be this tiny little kid, and now he's very, very tall. So I don't know, man. His bones must be made of glass. Because that kid, I'd be afraid to look at him wrong, and he'd break.
Yeah. Oh, too funny. So what's up next for you? Obviously just getting back from this round. You got anything else coming up the next couple of weeks? Any races or anything?
Yes. My friend Kayla McDermott from California is coming to visit me on Wednesday. I'm so excited. It's so cool because we met in California. didn't know her not even a little bit. And this winter I held like a girls' ride day out in the desert, and we'd always followed each other on social media and just, you know, that moto chick bond. Every moto chick out there just has this like innate bond that, you know, you ride, I ride, let's be best friends kind of mentality. And so we met up and rode together, and now she's coming to Canada, and I'm so excited. I'm going to take her racing this weekend, and we're going to do a whole bunch of fun moto trips. We're going to go to the sand pits and go to a big open ride day. But I'm trying to find her a bike. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Like, I don't really know who I can steal a bike from, because all my friends race on the weekends still too. So my dad ended up getting the matching YZ81 250 to go with the 465 that we had that I talked about last week. So now my dad has the 465 and I got the 81 250. So I'm going to race that in women's class this weekend so Kaylee can use my bike. So I'm so excited. I can't wait. The 465 was good, but it's still like it's a lot of bike for me. But the 250 is perfect. Like, I cannot wait to ride it. It should be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that picture you posted, and man, you crack me up. Your dad, man, he's quite the vintage. You know, you ought to have his own TV show. You know, like they've got auction hunters and all this. They ought to have like vintage bike hunter or something like that. He ought to have his own YouTube channel.
Oh no, seriously, like it's super, super funny, and like he doesn't tell me. It's like a surprise that he just goes. And he buys himself from his friends and people that he sees online. Like, we ain't made of money, that's for sure. My dad knows how to wheel and deal, and he gets all these piece of crap bikes that, you know, some guy bought it off someone else, and he's like, oh, it doesn't run. So my dad will go to look at it, and he'll see like maybe the spark plug is gone on it or something super minor, and he'll be like, oh yeah, you know, it could be a lot to fix, but you know, I'll take it off your hands here. And he always like wheel and deal with these guys who know nothing about bikes, so he'll make it seem like it's such a bigger process to fix, where it's just a spark plug or something. Oh my God, my dad cracks me up.
I'll take one for the team here. I'll buy it because I know you're so hard up for the money, but I really don't want it. And he's sitting there in the back of his mind.
Yeah, no, that is exactly what he does.
Yeah, he totally needs his own TV show.
Look what I got. He's so pumped.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I always say about guys, you know, everybody needs a hobby. You know, his is vintage bikes. He could be spending time in the bar or being a drunk, you know. So, you know, if he wants to spend his energy and money on vintage bikes, I think life is good, you know.
My dad has like one beer, maybe, on a Sunday after the race when it's like super hot outside, and then he'll like feel like crap, so he won't keep drinking. So, yeah his addiction to old dusty dirt bikes is totally fine by us, but his garage, I'm telling you right now, is like, it looks like a hoarder's house, like the TV show Hoarders. I'm so sorry for throwing you under the bus here right now, Dad, but it's like organized chaos. Me and my mom walk in there, we literally can't even find a screwdriver because there's shit everywhere, all over the garage. It's terrible.
But he knows where.
Like that, he just collects all this crap, and he knows where everything is. Like, I have to call him when I'm looking for a lock or, you know, something for my bike, even like oil. I'll be like, Dad, we're into this. He'll be like, oh, just go over here next to this thing, over, under, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't even know how you know this. Like, clean it. And we'll try to clean it for him, and we'll, like, sweep it all out and try to organize it, and then he'll be so mad because he can't find anything.
He knows where everything is. Everything's got its place, and he knows exactly where it's at. You know, it's one of those things. Somebody, do you have a carburetor for 1978 Honda? Oh, yeah. Just hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
2 seconds later, it pops out, you know?
Seriously, people at the track, I mean, even if they drive, like, a KTM or something, they always come up to us. If they break a lever or, you know, need a chain or something, like, they always come to me and my dad because my dad has so much random crap. You know, he's always willing to help someone, always willing to give somebody something if they need. Yeah, he's really, really cool, and a lot of people respect him for that reason. He's just a super selfless guy and loves bikes. Cool. It's kind of weird that now I've grown into this. Like, I'm obsessed with vintage bikes. I just want to ride old, cool things. And,
yeah. Well, they're fun, you know? It's just...
Yeah, it is. People don't realize how much fun it is. Like, oh gosh, this sounds so nerdy, but when I raced that 465, I'd never even ridden it before. I hopped on it for my race. I got one lap of practice on it because I was late for practice. I realized that. But yeah, you know what? I'm racing, like, laughing under my helmet because I'm coming into these corners and I can't stop and it doesn't turn and I'm casing jumps and I'm just laughing because it's such a good time. Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Too funny. Well, we're winding down another show, but appreciate you taking the time to call in, Amy, and tell us what was happening up there in Millville, Minnesota, and we'll definitely see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. And maybe next week I'll be able to have my friend Kaylee on the show with me so we can kind of talk about what we got up to this weekend because she'll be here till next week. So.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, we'll tag team you.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Okay, well, you have a good one.
All right, you too. Thanks, Amy.
See ya.
See ya. All right, that was Ami Houde calling in, talking about motocross from Millville. Give you a quick rundown of those results. 250s, Cooper Webb taking that win. Jeremy Martin, Joey Savacci, Marvin Muskeen, and Zach Osborne. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And looking at the 450 class, we had Dungy. He went 1-1, took the win. We got Barsha, Baggett, Roxon, and Anderson. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next up for pro motocross, we got Washougal. Next weekend up there in Washington. So Washougal, another one of those iconic venues that everybody knows about, and definitely looking forward to having some coverage of that. But it sounds like Amy's having a lot of fun up there in Winterpeg this summer. Giving them a breather for about 3 months before it decides to snow again. But, always have fun when she calls in to cap off the show. Like I said, we got Washougal up next for motocross. We got some torque from Sturgis coming up. GRC got a doubleheader going on in Detroit. We got Formula Drift, World RX Canada coming up in August. We've also got Vegas to Reno on tap, and don't forget 2 weeks I'll be up there at Dirtfish Rally School, and should be a lot of fun. Got to give a big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Ridges Industries, Dirtfish, UPR.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino, JMR Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and Intense Tees. Big shout out to Ami Houde, Ramana Lagemann, Jenn Hellstrom, Travis, Ken, David, all your podium finishers and winners from the New England Forest Rally. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show, and at JimBeaver15 on Periscope. And don't forget to follow Ami Houde at AmiHoude71 as well. Get our app available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, and we got a new app dropping hopefully this week or next week. All the back episodes also available downanddirtyshow.com, and all of our affiliate info available there as well. Thanks for all of you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Got some big guests lining up for next week, so you're definitely going to want to be here for that. Man, it's been a great week, and hope you guys have a great one. As always, game on.